Hi everyone, today we are going to replace the sphagnum moss for this mounted Phalaenopsis. We can see that the sphagnum moss is covered with algae and unknown mosses. As we mentioned before, those green things are harmless to our orchids, however they do consume the water and fertilizers, and make the slab deteriorate faster. Some growers like this greenish look. Of course they can leave the orchid growing in the green algae and mosses as well. Here we just decide to remove the old sphagnum moss and replace it with new sphagnum moss after cleaning the slab. First of all, let us cut off and remove the old threads. Then remove the old sphagnum moss. Sometimes we break a root like this, that is fine. We still have many other growing root tips. And the broken root will branch, if the orchid grows well in the future. A dead root like this, we can trim it off. With the aid of a pair of tweezers, we can easily remove more old sphagnum moss under the roots. Alright, now we use a toothbrush, gently brush the residual algae and mosses. It would be even better to do it under running water. After a rinse under a faucet, it is much cleaner. But there are still some residuals, that's fine, we can ignore them. We can find some roots growing out of the slab, gently guide them back to the slab. Now tie up one end of the thread to the slab. What kind of thread is not important, as long as we can secure new sphagnum moss on the slab. Here we just soaked some sphagnum moss. Squeeze out the extra water, and spread a thin layer over the slab. Then wrap the slab to secure the sphagnum moss. Regarding to how to soak the sphagnum moss before using. There are many theories out there. Some said soak the sphagnum moss for an hour, some said over a night. And some said we should soak the sphagnum moss 3 times before using. Well, as long as the grower is happy, he can soak the sphagnum moss whatever he wants. If we want to change the pH reading of the sphagnum moss, it doesn't help to soak the sphagnum moss with water. Sphagnum moss is a low pH reading potting media after all. If the sphagnum moss is really dirty, it does help to soak it 3 times. But, when sphagnum moss is that dirty and needs 3 times soaking to clean it, most people probably will dump it before using. We soak the sphagnum moss, because when it contains moisture, it's easier to spread it on the slab, and make it stay well on the slab before we wrap it with threads. We had talk about how to prepare clean sphagnum moss before. For those who want to recall it, please check out the info card on the upper right. Tie the other end of the thread on the slab. Alright, we have done it. Hang it back and let the sphagnum moss completely dry before next watering. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like, hit share and subscribe. Thank you for watching and I'll see you soon.